Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about how to set goals and how to use success hacks to become like this 72-year-old bodybuilder. Dick Polipnik, world traveler, entrepreneur, philanthropist, investor, inventor, innovator, author of the online bestseller Social Media Marketing, and semi-finalist for the National Federation of Independent Business Young Entrepreneur Award. Welcome to Online Growth Systems. Hey guys, welcome to Online Growth Systems. Today we're going to be talking about the 72-year-old bodybuilder. Alright, let's get started. What we're going to learn about today is we're going to learn, number one, how to set a goal. And I'm going to talk about all the different kinds of goal setting techniques that I've learned, whether it was from the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, from Straight Line Persuasion System from Jordan Belfort, known as the Wolf of Wall Street. I've learned from Daniel Alley consulting program. I mean, you take all those collective goal setting techniques and I take the nuggets from them. I take the gold nuggets, the best parts about each technique, and I combine them into a master goal setting list. The best list from the best people to help you achieve your goals. I personally used it and I can see the results are obvious. So the next thing we're going to talk about is how to achieve that goal faster. We're going to talk about tips, tricks, hacks of how to achieve that goal faster than most people do. And the last thing we're going to talk about is how it's never too late to succeed. If you're 70 years old, obviously you can become a bodybuilder. That's the topic of today's video. And just when you think it's too late to live the life of your dreams, I'm going to give you a couple examples of men who have committed to a goal late in life and have drastically changed the history as you and I know it. And you and I both know who these men are. And they both started really late in life and achieved great things. So that's the last thing we're going to talk about today. Okay, so this video is brought to you by Online Growth Systems. It's my online business networking company. If you want to get involved, the best way to start getting involved is by signing up for our newsletter. Thanks to the, I think, 500 subscribers of the newsletter so far. That's awesome. I mean, it's been growing like crazy. So if you want to jump in on that, and you can, I mean, obviously the people who are in the top, the first 10 are bragging about it. Oh, it's in the top 10. So even if you get in the first 1,000, I'm sure, a month from now, you're going to be bragging about, oh, I was in the first 1,000. So it's just kind of cool to see the camaraderie between the people in the newsletter. We're already on our 102nd issue, or volume, I should say. I'm not sure what issue it's on, but whatever. So just go to onlinegrowthsystems.com and you should be able to sign up for the newsletter. You can also get my free ebook, Social Media Marketing. I'll teach you the tips, tricks of how I made money on Twitter and how you can build an online business with digital products, physical products, you name it, and how to use social media to market your business for free. Essentially is what that one focuses on. So, all right. Okay, topic number one, how to set a goal. Number one, you got to think about what it is you want. I know this sounds really obvious, but you have to look at famous people. One person that I think about when I look at step number one here is an actor named Jim Carrey. He's a comedian. Maybe you know him from a couple of movies that he's done. And he famously wrote himself a check when he was broke, busted, and disgusted. He wrote a check to himself for $2 million, and he dated it a couple of years in the future. Now you can look up a YouTube video, just look up on YouTube when you're done with this video of like that interview. There's an interview of him later on in life after he was successful, and he mentions that once that date on that check had come, he was worth more than $2 million, and he had received a check for the movie Dumb and Dumber for many, many millions of dollars. So a lot of people, you hear a lot of things about manifestation, visualization. People put pictures on fridges. People put their goals on a list on their mirror in their bathroom. So when they're brushing their teeth, they see it daily. It's thinking about it daily that helps that step number one become, add to the success of attaining your goals. That repetition. And the second thing you have to do is you have to write it down. And you will not believe the difference between people who do write this down and people who don't write this down. Well, I'll mention that in the next slide, but it's astronomical. That's essentially a part, like, you have to write it down. And this is an example on the right side of the screen here of just a goal list you can make for yourself. Maybe I'll put a link on my website. You can download this thing for free and just print it off. If that's something you guys want to do, comment below. Let me know if you want to do that or not. So you can see here a goal list for, and then the goal, step number one, think about what you want. Make a lot of money is the example I put here. The third thing you have to do is you have to have a unit of measurement. And I got the unit of measurement from Napoleon Hill and his books and tapes, especially from the book Think and Grow Rich. And what he mentions is why you have to have a measurement for your goal is because you are more likely to achieve that goal. Because let's say that you say, okay, I want to be rich by, I want to be rich when I'm older. Rich is a bad goal to have because you never really know when you hit it. Because for rich, one person might be $10,000. Rich might be $100,000. Rich might be $1 billion to some people. You have to have a specific number. If it's money, if your goal is to be rich, you have to have a dollar amount. If your goal is to lose weight, you have to have a number of pounds you want to be. If you want to say, you can't say, I want to lose weight. My goal is to lose weight. You have to say, my goal is to lose 20 pounds, or my goal is to be at 170 pounds by, the end of the year. You know what I mean? Something like that. So you have to have a unit of measurement. So that way, the best way, what Napoleon mentions is a huge benefit of measuring your goal is because you can track it. You know how close you are to achieving that goal. Versus if you say rich, you don't know. Are you halfway there? Are you 3/4 way there? Are you past it? You know what I mean? You never know. Versus if you have a target, a specific target, okay, I lost 5 pounds, I've got 15 to go. You know what I mean? You know how far you are. You know how much more effort you have to put in based on what you put in and the results you've attained so far. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about is, the next step I should say, is have an end date. Now this is a really important one because like the measurement factor, you have to have an end date, because if you say, I want to lose weight someday, or I want to be rich when I'm older. I want to be rich when I retire. You know what I mean? Retire is a little more targeted because, eventually you do retire, but you want to have a specific end date. So like for this example here, it's make a lot of money, measurement, I want to have $100,000. End date is the 1st of next year. So like, let's say that the year is, 2020. That you make this goal, you want to say by January 1st, 2021. That is your cutoff date for achieving this goal. Again, the reason you have an end date is because there is a specific target of when you achieve that goal. It's a unit of measurement, not of how close you are to achieving that goal, but how close you are to the deadline to achieve that goal. How much time you have left. So that's why you have an end date, because it speeds up the process, because it motivates you to get it done faster, and it has a time limit. It's like studying for a test. You know what I mean? Do you study for a test if they say, we're eventually sometime this quarter, we're going to be testing on the history of America in the 1800s? You know what I mean? Or if they say, we're going to have a test this Friday, which one are you more likely to study for? the one that has a deadline, because you know when it is, you know how much time you have left to prepare for it, or to do the means necessary to attain that goal, to prepare for that thing. Next one is make a promise. Make a promise of what you will give back in return for succeeding, in return for achieving your goal, in return for getting what you want. I have an example here of the promise to donate $100,000 to charity in exchange for attaining the $100,000, you will be willing to give $10,000 to charity. And the reason I say $10,000 is there's lots of articles that I've read, books that I've read, people that I've met who are successful, lots of people, I would say almost every single person that I've met that is wealthy, healthy, happy, you name it, they give back, and they give back generously. Now, in fact, the more they earn, the more they give. So, like, I know some millionaires that they give, 60% of their income, to causes that they seem worthy, because it's something that they enjoy to do, and they know that the promise factor of setting their goals, that when they intentionally give a portion of whatever it is they attain, or they give something in return for achieving what they wanted, they will more likely achieve that goal, and in the future they will achieve greater quantities of the benefits of that goal. So let's say that your goal is to lose weight. You promise to maybe mentor somebody else who wants to lose weight, and you help them. You teach them what you did. You know what I mean? You commit maybe an hour a week of your time to helping other people, giving something for nothing, and you can imagine the repercussions of doing something like that also, like if everybody would do that when they achieve a goal, everybody would have somebody mentoring them, which would domino effect. That's not really the point here, but the best-selling book of all time, ever, can you guess what it is? It is the Christian Bible, actually. And a big thing that they have in the Bible, if you look at principles of the Old Testament, and what they say is you give a portion of what you make back to, in the Bible they mention church, or the poor people, or a good cause, buying food for the hungry, stuff like that. And the reason they say that is because the Bible says that you will receive return from that giving 10, 20, 100-fold. And now that's not the reason you should give, is because you're expecting it to be an investment, and you get a rate on your return, or a return on your investment of the money that you donated. That's not why you should give. I'm just saying that there is proven numbers, there's stats of people who are wealthy, healthy, happy, who have given things back when they achieve something, and they are more likely to achieve those goals. They're more likely to continue to be successful. They're more likely to be successful exponentially, greater volume as throughout their life. The more they give, the more they earn, later on. So, plus another big thing about the promise to donate, the promise to give back, is something that I got from Jordan Belfort, the Wolf of Wall Street. He does this, and for him, what his promise was is he wanted to help his employees become successful. He wanted to share his wealth, share his success with the people he loved, with the people around him. So if you've seen the movie Wolf of Wall Street or read his book, his Stratonites, he took them with him on his road to success. Another reason that you want to make a promise is because it subconsciously justifies the means that it takes for you to achieve that goal. So when you have to skip lunch and you are hungry because you take your lunch break and you commit it to learning. You commit it to sending that extra email, calling that extra sales prospect. Your subconscious mind justifies skipping that meal, justifies using your coffee break time, because not just for yourself, because obviously you achieve the goal, it benefits yourself, but it justifies it because other people will be benefiting from you achieving your goal. Other people will be benefiting from you skipping your lunch, using your coffee break to call someone, to learn, to invest, to research, to grind it out. When you're doing it for not just yourself, your subconscious mind justifies it, and it's easier to work, to do what it takes to work towards that goal. And then last thing you got to do is you have to sign it. Now I know I've spent a long time in this slide, and that's because this is the meat and potatoes here at the video. This is the number one thing is how to set a goal. If you don't do these steps right, you're going to end up being mediocre like 90% of other people. So that's kind of the point of the video here. You have to sign it because it commits it. Like Jim Carrey example, he signed his own check. You have to sign it because it makes a commitment to it, and it makes it a priority in your life. So, all right, next slide. This is the number that I mentioned earlier. You are 50% more likely to achieve those goals. 50% more likely to achieve the goals that you want if you write them down. Now, this next slide here, goalband.com did a national survey, and what they discovered through that survey is that only three out of 100 people surveyed wrote down their goals. Only 3 out of 100. And what they found out is the 3 versus the 97 people, the three people were 50% more likely to achieve the goals because they wrote them down. So definitely something that you really want to do. And last but not least, mentors. This is the part of the video where we're going to talk about how you can achieve those goals faster. And it is hands down the number one reason, the number one action item, the number one thing that you can do, that you add to your routine, that you bring into your life, that you change your habits, is you get a mentor. And this is better than taking classes. This is better than getting a PhD. This is better than growing up with someone who's successful, unless they've mentored you, obviously, through that process. But this is why do you think famous athletes, NFL players, attain this great amount of wealth? They go from zero to multi-millionaire in a couple of years in the NFL, and then you find out a couple of years after they retired, they're broke, busted, and disgusted. You know what I mean? They lost all their wealth because they didn't know how to spend it wisely. And the reason they didn't know how to spend it wisely is because they didn't have a mentor. Maybe they had a mentor in football, which is why they succeeded in football, but they didn't have a mentor in finance, in investing, in wealth attainment, in creation. So they lost it all. Just because you have the money doesn't mean you're going to keep it. You have to be mentored. If you look at the most successful people in history, you'll find one thing in common. They all had mentors. This is just a slide here of a couple of mentors that I admire. Top left here is Grant Cardone. Maybe you've heard of him. He's big on Twitter and YouTube. He also has a media company called Cardone TV and Cardone University, and you name it. He's got a convention that he does. And what I look to him for in mentorship is specifically sales. He's a master closer, and along with him and Jordan Belfort, those are my two favorite sales guys. Bottom right, you can see Robert Kiyosaki, author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Maybe you heard of his company, the Rich Dad Company. He's got books, videos, classes, coaching, articles, you name it. he's an awesome mentor. And obviously I can mention here, I haven't sat down face to face with these mentors. You can be mentored by people online, through like the things that I just named with Robert, or you can even be mentored by people who have passed away, been long gone. Two examples of that are my favorites are autobiographies, by people who wrote their own success stories after, before they died. My favorites are Grinding It Out by Ray Kroc, founder of McDonald's Corporation. Another autobiography is Made in America by Sam Walton, founder of Walmart. You know what I mean? If anybody's been successful in finance, you have to look at Sam Walton. If you look at the top 100 richest people in the world right now, his kids and grandkids are like 10 out of the 100. It's unreal. And if you would take their collective wealth, they don't hold the number one spot, obviously. But if you would collect their net worth together, they're easily number one. I would be willing to bet. So you can be mentored by, through books, by people who have passed away. Like up here on the top right and bottom left, that's Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, two of my favorite investors and entrepreneurs, two billionaires. You can be mentored by them through interviews that you find on YouTube, by books that they've wrote. I know Warren Buffett does a newsletter to his shareholders every year, and it's public knowledge. You can read it. You can go to their website, Berkshire Hathaway, and you can read his newsletter that he puts out to his shareholders. And usually their shares are going for last time, I don't remember what it was. I think it's like $100,000. I could be wrong. But you could be getting a newsletter that it usually takes $100,000 to even get one share of, to be eligible to, someone that it's pertaining to. So a huge value right there, and it's out on the internet for people to read. Finally, there's in the middle here, I have Ty Lopez. Maybe you've seen his Here in My Garage video. It's gone viral, and there's a lot of controversy surrounding Ty Lopez. And the reason for that is people find it hard to believe. They struggle. They struggle with people justifying why people would give back, why people like Ty, who are multi-millionaires, why they would take the time to give back to people. And they're suspicious of it, which makes sense. Why, if you really are a millionaire, why would you be taking time to put out an ad for a cheap product, that you're not going to make anything on, to help me, you know what I mean? A nobody that you don't even know sitting on a screen, you know what I mean? And I understand people's concerns with that, but I think for Ty, the reason that he's doing what he's doing is because he was in that situation too. He was the guy looking up on the computer how to attain wealth. He was the guy reading books. He was the guy trying to find mentors. So he famously says he was sleeping on a friend's couch with only $47 in his bank account, and a couple of years later, he's a multi-millionaire through businesses and investing. And I think the reason that he does the things he does, like the 67 Steps program, is because he wants to help people who are in his own situation. So I think he's justified. I'll put a link in the description below. I'll put a link to my website that'll skip all the steps of going through his website, finding the tab, finding the program, but through his class, because he's got a couple of classes. And I'll just put a link in the description that'll lead you right to his 67 Steps program, if that's something that you're interested in. He actually, in my opinion, the 67 Steps is my favorite. I've taken lots of his classes, but 67 Steps is my personal favorite. I refer to them as 67 Steps to Success. And ironically, he only sells it for $67. And there's 68 videos, so that's less than $1 per video to be mentored by a multi-millionaire. You know what I mean? That's taking the time to make this awesome material, and they're about an hour long each. So for less than $1 an hour, you can be mentored by a multi-millionaire, Ty Lopez, who's social media guru and media mogul and investor, and it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. Or a book, which is $10. You can be mentored by Warren Buffett for Googling Berkshire Hathaway article. You know what I mean? Like for Ty, he's got a couple other classes that are like $1,000 a pop, and I think that's justified. It's like taking a college class. It's a cheap college class actually, compared to $5,000, which is what I paid for college, per class. So those are more for like specific businesses. But anyway, so check that out if you're interested in the link below. Finally, we have the man behind the thumbnail, the YouTube thumbnail. Dr. Jeffrey Life. He is a 72-year-old bodybuilder. Well, his profession before, he was, I guess, a bodybuilder and a health coach. That's what he does now, because he just wants other people to experience. He helps other elderly, be healthy, like he attained. He was a doctor, but his profession of being in family medicine had nothing to do with becoming a bodybuilder. That was just his profession. In fact, on the contrary, he was actually very unhealthy, and he was sick of being groggy and sick, and you know what I mean? So what he decided is he set a goal. He set a goal, and he wrote it down, and he committed to it. He made it a priority in his life to become healthy. And in his late 60s, he made that goal, and he was extremely overweight. He was, I can't remember what health problems he was having, but he set that goal, and he did similar processes to the ones that we mentioned before. And by the age of 72, he had achieved his goal. He'd become a bodybuilder. I mean, the guy's ripped. And he is famously known as the man with a body of a 20-year-old and the head of a 70-year-old. And this is just an example, a classic example of how it's never too late to achieve the life of your dreams, to achieve your goals. I mean, if you can think about it, wealth and happiness and relationships, those are all goals you can achieve no matter how old you are in life, correct? If you want to think of something that's hard, health is something that's hard to do later in life. That's something that age would have in my opinion, would have a heavier weight on how hard, or heavier pressure on how hard it is to achieve goals. And he did it at 70. If he can achieve health goals at 70, we can achieve wealth and relationships and happiness goals at 18, 30, 40, heck, 100, you know what I mean? Those goals are easy compared to health goals of an 80-year-old or a 70-year-old. But yeah, so in fact, two other good examples of men who started their professions late in life, or made goals late in life that helped them achieve success that they're known for today even, are two of the autobiographies I mentioned before. Ray Kroc, founder of McDonald's Corporation, he was the ripe age of 52 when he started McDonald's. 52. If he can start McDonald's at 52 and 10 years later have an IPO and go public, start trading stock on the stock market, you can achieve pretty much anything you want. So Sam Walton started Walmart in his late 40s. So, and look at the vast empire that it is. Look at Walmart. It's all over the world. So is McDonald's. And if they can achieve that so late in life, so most people think, oh man, I have to start when I'm 20, you know what I mean? And work till I'm 80 to build the empire that I want. It's not true. You can do it in 10 years. You can do it in less. I mean, I think in 10 years, somebody's going to be making a video similar to this, and they're going to be talking about a man who created wealth when he was 80 years old, and by the time he was 82, it only took 2 years, and he created this massive empire. Everything's getting faster. And both Ray Kroc and Sam Walton, they did those businesses in a time when the internet wasn't around. So can you imagine how much faster it would be now? Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed learning about how to set goals, and I hope you picked up some success hacks so you can become like the 72-year-old bodybuilder who can achieve success anytime in their life. Make sure you hit that subscribe button above, or you can watch my last YouTube video. Thanks. See you next time.